Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This will be my top 10 stocks as we head into Monday, March 28th. This will be a technical analysis breakdown. So if you're somebody that uses charts within your trading, or maybe you're just interested in learning more about the tool of charts and how they can be used to help make good decisions as a trader, this will be a video for you. Before I get to the watch list, I first want to personally invite you to get signed up for this free live online class that I'm offering next week. So if you're liking what you see as I go through the video and you want to learn more about this tool, how it can and should be used and why it's so powerful, then certainly get signed up for that free class. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a link down in the description box. If you're watching at my site, there's an area right there on the webpage you can click to get signed up. So definitely get signed up for it, like I said, if you're liking what you see. Two quick clarification points before we get to the stocks. First off, the market is still open for a little bit, so that price there is still changing, and then the candlesticks will also be moving around. But I like to do these videos when the market's still open for a little bit of time because sometimes we can capture some really interesting late day action. And then I will also be using the 30-minute time frame, meaning each one of these candlesticks, as they're called if you're a beginner, represents 30 minutes worth of time. So first one here, ticker symbol TLRY, one of these marijuana stocks that just absolutely, well, started to explode yesterday, late day on Thursday, and then just got that much more continuation today. So a lot of people are going to be watching this one here moving forward. So let's map out some areas of support and resistance. First area of support, assuming you like to play pullbacks, right there at that $8 mark. And if you're maybe wanting to be a little bit more aggressive in terms of demanding a bigger pullback, then right down there around $7.40 is another overarching area. But assuming maybe you just care about the big picture point of view, then the easiest way to gauge that is going to be that purple line there, the 50-period moving average, which seems irrelevant right now given the price is way up there. This line's way down there. But keyword there being moving, so as time goes by, that line is going to move itself higher and higher. So point being that that's essentially like a trend line that's going to draw itself for you. So as long as the price stays above that overarching trend line, then therefore the price is still within an overall bullish environment. As far as areas of resistance are concerned, the level here that I'm very curious about now that has formed late day right here at that trend line right there, which is proven to be somewhat frustrating right there. And then even the last 30 minutes right there got rejected by it again. Not saying that the price can't push up through that level, but in the near term, that does seem to be that key level that'll need to be fought through, which is right up there around, let's call it the $8.70 mark. But all in all, very, very impressive way to end the week. Next one, SNDL, another penny stock here, but a marijuana stock, which has just gone bonkers. I think I first started doing it, and I was actually a little late to starting to do videos on this one to get on the watch list. But I think even being late, it started at 55, and now this thing's way up here. But the uptrend continues. I will say, though, this is a little bit of a tricky chart to talk about from a presentation standpoint because it depends on your game plan and going in. Meaning, if you're a day trader, flipper, scalper, and you bought right there, and your plan was to buy and sell within 20 minutes, well, then from that angle, things look pretty bad because there was this pullback right here, which has recovered. But if you care about the big picture point of view, even with this pullback, when you sit there and look at the lows, so we have lows there and there and there and down here, and then you envision those as stair steps, as I've said in past videos, those are all overall stair steps, continue to progress in the upwards direction. Again, I understand it may sound weird for me to call this chart bullish, but yeah, if you bought right there, then it can feel pretty bearish. But again, I'm making the bullish comment from the angle of you caring about the big picture point of view. So as long as the price continues putting those higher lows like it's been doing, then the overall trend remains plenty in the bullish point of view. In terms of areas of resistance, in the near term, that 85-cent mark seems to be a key level. And then after that, right up around 80 or 89 cents, but 85 in the near term. But like I said, big picture-wise, everything is doing just fine, and it will remain the case as long as the price builds those higher bases. Next one, AMC. Overall, everything's doing just fine. Same exact premise that I just talked about with SNDL. Yeah, it can feel bad because the price went up today and then pulled back, but that's just one single day. When you take a step back and look at multiple days, the price is still putting in higher lows. The price is still above that purple line there, the 50-period moving average. So once again, assuming that you're not a day trader that bought right there and wanted to buy 5 minutes later, assuming that's not you, then the overall chart completely still perfectly fine. Although now that we have more data after today, I think the level that a lot of people will be watching is that area right there, because I assure you, people around the world have drawn that trend line. Not exactly super complicated to do. And I say that because when a lot of people are watching the same levels and wondering the same thing, call it a self-fulfilling prophecy, call it whatever you want, it can produce some very dynamic movement. So while nothing is guaranteed, my point is that if the price can work its way back up to that area and then get the break up through it, that break right there could in and of itself create quite a bit of upwards buying pressure. So you're going to want to keep a close eye on that. And then as far as supports, already talked about that. As long as the price stays above that purple line, then the trend is fully in the bull's favor. Next one, GME, GameStop, another classic here. And what I'm actually going to do is switch over to the daily time frame. So we are stepping away from the 30-minute because in my mind, the most Interesting dynamic here for next week has to do on the daily time frame, and that is all about the pink line right there, which is the very famous 200-day simple moving average. And going back to the talking point of self-fulfilling prophecies, there is a whole lot that can be pertained with the 200-day moving average, which is right there, and you can see the price is well within striking distance, and the current value of that is, let's just call it 165. So in my mind, it's really as straightforward as that. All eyes on 165. Why? Well, because that is where that 200-day simple moving average is. And if the price can break above it, again, no such thing as a guarantee. But if the price can break above it, is it valid? Is it plausible to think that that could create another round of upwards momentum? Yeah, absolutely a plausible thought process to have. So let's see how GME does in regards to that 165 mark. Next one here, MULN, and probably the last time I do this one for a while, just because I would consider the chart now broken. And for those of you that watch past videos, you know why I'm defining it as broken. Now you can feel free to disagree, that's fine. But in my opinion, the price has broken down below that 280 mark, that green line there, which was very important. And it's like I said, overall the trend is still there, but the trend in my mind has just lost some of its power because, like I said, it's already broken through 280, but it's also, that's within the context of breaking down below the purple line. The purple line, which again is that 50-period moving average, now has a downwards angle to it. So that very strong, that very methodical uptrend has been broken. Now, can it get repaired? Of course it can, but my point here is that, as of now, just want, because I've been doing this one daily for the past couple of weeks, so I don't want to just all of a sudden stop. But in my mind, what would be the point where it gets kind of repaired again? Well, that would be, let's see if the price can get back above 280, which is just based on a foundational rule in charting, which states when levels of support are broken and closed below, they tend to act as resistance. So keep an eye on 280. But definitely, if you want to disagree with me, I can see that. But hopefully you wouldn't still disagree if the price comes down to the 200-period moving average and then breaks below there. At that point, that would just be further combination that things just aren't right. So that would be kind of a secondary confirmation point, if you wanted to use it. But yeah, overall, things are looking pretty shaky. Next one, SWN, and wow, that's really all you can say on this one. You had this little miniature resistance right there, broke through it during that opening 30 minutes right there, and then has just basically been going straight up the remainder of the day. So a huge move here on this one. So let's map out some areas as far as support and resistance are concerned. Make this a little bit easier to see. There we go. So as far as supports, if you like to play those pullbacks, interesting pullback area that stands out at first right there at $6.70. And then a more of a kind of aggressive level if you want a deeper pullback down there around $6.35. So keep an eye on those areas. And then as far as areas of resistance are concerned, I'm going to have to change to the daily time frame once again because it's been quite a while since the price has been up this high. So it'll just make things easier to see. Oh, wow. All right, we are talking... Goodness. All right, we're talking multiple year highs here that this thing is now at. There we go. Holy smokes. All right, so we are officially, I'm looking back here at 2017. All right, so let's see. Next key area of resistance right up there at $7.25, and that's literally coming from areas from back in 2017. So needless to say, this one just went on a monster move today. I didn't even realize that. So yeah, $7.25 is that next key level of resistance, which again is coming from a data point from back in 2017. So absolutely monster move today. Next one, NILE. And I like this one just because pretty much a big concern has been alleviated. That concern being that hopefully you have as a trader, I don't know, am I going to be the sucker that buys the top? Am I suffering from FOMO, right? Fear of missing out, and it's causing me to chase the price. You don't have that worry anymore because the suckers that bought the top were buying there and there. So from that angle, now that doesn't, of course, mean it's going to be a winning trade, but at least that worry has been alleviated. But what's nice is that you've had this huge pullback, and all of a sudden the prices started to go sideways. Now, don't get me wrong. I wish I could say trading was this easy. Just because there was a huge pullback, just because the price has gone sideways here, does not mean that for sure guaranteed it's done going down. My point here is that at least more valid to think that it could be done going down? Well, yeah, of course, at least it started to go sideways. Where if it was just still dropping and I was saying, hey, it's looking like it's done, you would be totally validated to say, based on what, Clay? It's still dropping straight down. Why would you say this is the bottom? But in this situation, it's at least leveled out. So again, guaranteed bottom? Of course not. A plausible, a logical thought process have? Absolutely. So if this is some sort of bottom, and if this thing wants to make another move back to the upside, the key level that stands out to me right up there at that 85-cent mark. So keep a close eye on that. But yeah, big nasty pullback. Now it's just a question of, okay, maybe this thing can get another, surge of effort back up through 85, but at least you don't have to worry about buying the top. Next one, NIO, and really two main levels going forward into next week. The first one being a very important level of support, which you now know, that pink line, the 200 period simple moving average, currently valued at, we'll call it $18.80. So keep an eye on that. And I'm not going to call that a do or die level, but yeah, if the price goes down there and then breaks through there, it just starts to put the chart in kind of, like I said, not totally game over territory, but things would definitely start to look a little bit more sketchy at that point. But the good news is that the price is, it's close, but it's not like knocking on the door or anything like that. So 1880 going to be a key level of support. And then in terms of areas of resistance, main level to watch going to be right there at $20.80. This was a former area of support, as you can see right here. And then with the price breaking down below, just a classic example of that support now acting as resistance. So keep an eye on that if the price does try to bounce back upwards. But those will be the two main technical levels to watch next week. Next one, CLVR, and not a whole lot to say on this one other than just absolute beast mode. Check out the last 30 minutes. Huge volume, huge momentum. So this is just simply a question of, all right, is this the start of something much bigger? Now think about what has to happen for me to even be able to ask that question. Well, something crazy needs to happen in the first place. And the crazy has happened, and that is the entire idea behind a watch list, right? You're looking for unique, you're looking for crazy, you're looking for interesting situations, and then you want to watch them. And this was definitely a crazy scenario, so it's worth watching next week. So like I said, for no other reason other than crazy action. So the question becomes, is this the start of something much bigger? Of Wednesday next week, are people going to be looking at this one and saying, geez, remember when that thing was at like $4? I don't know. Maybe it's not. Maybe this just completely collapses back downwards. That's possible too. But the point here is that crazy movement, so keep an eye on it. Let's watch it next week. Next one, TSLA, Tesla. Traded this one today. I'm always keeping an eye on it, so these annotations are for me just as much as they are for you. But I'm going to go ahead and do a couple of house cleaning things there, and I want to also extend this level out right there. Get it up to 1020 there, or as close as possible. There we go. Now the big interesting dynamic, and just the power of charts. Check this out. Look right where the price all of a sudden decided to have a nice green candle, right at that purple line, which is the 50-period moving average. So last 30 minutes of the day, very impressive. And it's now setting up with a potential showdown with this area of resistance that I talked about several times this week, right there at 1020. So is 1020 going to get tested is question number one. If it does, can it break? And if it can break, because a bunch of people are watching that level. So again, going back to the whole idea of self-fulfilling prophecies. But if 1020 can be broken, then in my mind, 1040 is more than reasonable to think has a chance of getting hit. But yeah, let's just first see if it can continue to bounce off that 50-period moving average. So that's sort of phase one, continue to bounce. Phase two, get up to 1020, break through there, and then see if it can pick up enough momentum to get up there to 1040. But those are definitely going to be the main dynamics that I'm personally going to be most interested in on Monday for Tesla. So that wraps up the top 10. Again, if you like what you saw here, if you want to learn more about this tool and how it can and should be used and just why it is so powerful and useful for us as traders, then certainly get signed up for the free class next week. Like I said, it'll be Thursday, March 31st at 7 p.m. Eastern time. So I hope to see you there. As far as these top 10 videos are concerned, if you enjoy these, if you want me to keep making these, then please help me out with some basic communication by hitting the like button and leaving a simple comment. Say hi. Tell me a ticker symbol that you're watching next week. Tell me anything. But like I said, by you hitting the like button and leaving a simple comment, it communicates to me that you enjoy. And as long as I know people are enjoying the top 10 videos here, I will continue to put in the time and effort to do the analysis and do all the searching for them. So your feedback is very much appreciated in that regard. So hopefully you get signed up for that class, and I'll see you next week. But everybody, thanks for watching and have a great weekend.